Yeah, this took place back in the June of 2016. So this was when me and my cousin experienced a really massive Bigfoot in Mill Creek Hole in the Ground, California. Although there's a creek called Mill Creek in Tehama County, California. It's a very beautiful area. Very, very beautiful area. Let's get right to it. So, it was just me and my cousin. Just doing what we're doing, just hiking. And my dad at the time didn't allow me to have a fishing pool. Well, because it was stupid for the fact that my dad was a city folk and my mom wasn't. I mean, it was stupid that my dad was a city guy, which is why I was never allowed to hunt. Finally, learned how to fish when I moved at age 13. I know. When you want to be a mountain person, when you were partially a mountain person, you lived in the mountains before and returned. You moved out when you're 5. Although I did fish a little bit when I was 5, but yeah, back to the story. So, me and my cousin had a really great time just messing around. And yeah, by the way, he's a year younger than me, and yeah, he was like around 10, I was 11. So we both just slept, slept at the back of my uncle's truck, and it's there's a camper shell on, I don't know, sometimes I might, as I get, whenever I'm sober, when I'm high, I tend to form things out wrong. So it's camper shell. And yeah, I think, yeah, I did say it right. So, yeah. And we were just night watching, right? It was his idea anyway. Really beautiful, really peaceful. I really like the woods. We saw a beautiful side of the creek. Other side of the creek was amazingly beautiful through the moonlight. But then a few minutes later, my cousin panicked and asked me if he heard something. I asked no. I said no, and he said, well, I think what I might have heard is something very unnatural. Something in my something. I feel like something's telling me that it may be natural, but it's very rare. He had that gut feeling, and then ducked under the bed. And he told me to duck under the bed, and he assumed what this mythical creature is called Bigfoot. Initially, I thought, you're probably tripping on a bear, since he lived in the valley for a little bit. And I visited up in these mountains many times, and used to even live there. Well, I live in the mountains now in the Sierra Nevada, but still. Yeah. And then it was me and my cousin just looking around. After about 10 minutes, just him panicking. And then suddenly, he ducked under. I had ducked under to support what he was fearing of. And suddenly, what I just saw was, I never what I thought I saw. Initially I thought maybe a bear standing on its hind legs, if that was the case. But I got closer and closer, as then I saw a large branch snap down. It grabbed a branch and snapped it down, glaring at us as if it's territorial. And I thought I was dreaming, but I pinched myself. It's not a dream. Maybe we were about exaggerating the same thing? I don't know. It felt so real to me. And then it came next to the tree that's across the road from us, directly from us. It put arms around its long arms around its tree, and it started smiling. And I could see a little more detail. It was 13 feet tall in height, and it had a super long beard. It was skinny, super long beard down to the middle of its thighs. It looks like a Bigfoot, but a kung fu master. It even I even saw it was around about. Its face was very very flat, though, and it had large nostrils. Eyes were very close together, and the yellow colors are so bright in their eyes that it's lighter than the sun. That's how bright the color is. Although the sun in real life is actually white, but like under the sky, people view it as yellow. But continue the story. That thing, I didn't smell it or nothing until like about when I was passing out. I smelled like there was rotten potato salad wasted in the kitchen in like early in the morning. It was disgusting. But that's when I saw a yellow blinking orb going around our truck. And years later, I found out that they're there to something told me to just lower myself and tuck myself under the covers most of my ways, but at the same time I shouldn't. But at the same time, I should be cautious and aware of what's happening around me. Suddenly, there it was, just walking. There it was, just walking a couple steps, and then stood directly across from me, and across from me and my cousin. And it was just standing there, just smiling, and it put its arm around another tree that's even closer to us, not directly from us. And then it started scanning our campground, and then stared back at us, and stood there like a statue for the rest of that night. Something told me to just deal with it and just sleep. After what felt like fucking hours. And then I woke up from the dust and the sun glare through the window and the dust shining into my face. Due to the glare of the sun reflecting the dust, the shine in the dust. That's all rusty. As then my cousin was sitting up, and he asked if I saw it, and I said yes. Did you even see that yellow orb? And he said yeah. It came around a few more times as he was up for the rest of the night. As then he saw it just walking away as soon as the sun started to rise up. I started to have breakfast. As soon as I crossed the road, my cousin yelled at me from far distant, and it's on the same side of the road. And then suddenly, I saw a heel print and a footprint. And then right after, my mom drove in and to pick me up. So I did. And I've been there one other time after that happened, and I still hear noises. And I even got chased by a bear. But then, yeah, to this day, I will feel the. To this day, I will always be just remembering that incident, though. I had one other Bigfoot encounter in Lassen National Park, but that's just about it. Well, better get going, and peace out.